So the first thing that we're going to need to think about before we dive into creating your Instagram stories is your Instagram story strategy. It is really important to make sure you've got a fantastic Instagram story strategy that is not only going to help you to achieve your goals, but it's also going to be entertaining and valuable for your Instagram audience. It's really important that you are consistently delivering amazing value through your Instagram stories. Otherwise, why would people come back to check out your Instagram stories? Think about it that way. You never know when someone is going to have their first time experiencing your content on Instagram stories. So every single time you post, you've got to make sure it's good. So let's have a think about the 4 different content types. I find this is really helpful when trying to come up with an amazing strategy. Every Instagram stories strategy, every single Instagram stories piece of content will include these 4 content types. So we've got educational content, conversational content, motivational content, and promotional content. Yes, so we've got these 4 content types that anything that you create is going to fall into. Now you may be wondering, okay, so what type of content would make sense for each category? Well, for educational content, think of things like tips and tricks, behind the scenes tutorials of how you use your product. Anything that is motivational would be motivating people to want to purchase your product or service. So perhaps things like customer testimonials or even happy customer photos that you're regramming or reposting from stories. Think about that. Now, for conversational content, that really comes down to having a conversation with your audience. The little stickers inside Instagram stories, things like the question sticker, which is like an open Q&A, and the poll option are actually really fantastic for generating conversations with your audience and getting them engaged in your Instagram stories. Now, the last type of content, I know you know what type of content you need to create for that category. It is promotional content. So anything where you are promoting a product or service or event or anything that you are trying to get people on over to, that is promotional content. So it's really important that throughout your week of posting on Instagram stories that you make sure you have all of these different content types displayed so that you're not overdoing it with promotional content or with tips and tricks. It's really important to have a blend of these because altogether that makes a really interesting and unique Instagram stories content plan that is really going to help you to generate sales and keep your audience entertained. Anyway, now you know a little bit more about the strategy, let's dive into Plan Desktop and have a play with how you can create your own Instagram story strategy using Plan Desktop's features.